Does she know that you're who you are on Twitter? Making fishes and
Nah.
so she
I mean,
What's good, guys? Welcome back to the OGM podcast. Today, man, it's been a minute. It's been a little while. We took a little break. You feel me? We had to get some things done, fix some, finish some projects, do some, assess what we had to assess. But we back, which is the most important part. You feel me? I'm here joined by my guys. You feel me? To the right, we got Mayimbe.
203 till I DIECT Waterbury, Connecticut, Dirty Fiji. Feel me? We back, nigga. We're back.
And to the left, we have the one and only Severe.
Pablo in the flesh.
you're
How y'all been, man? 2023, new year. How y'all feeling? How y'all feeling about this year? What's good?
This is the first year in a minute where I don't know what's gonna happen.
Mm-hmm.
So usually when New Year comes along, you know, by the trend of how the year ends, you kind of have a grasp of what's gonna happen next year. This is the first year where I don't know what to expect at all.
That's a
I
good
could
thing,
either be
though.
a millionaire or
You think that's a good thing?
no, because the way I like to run my life is I like to jump and know where to land. So it feels like this year I've
Just
jumped
jump in
into
with
the
no
new
land.
year, and I don't know where the hell I'm gonna land. So it's
That's a good thing, though.
It's a different experience. It is. I think so.
I think that's a great thing.
That's cool. Yeah.
How about you?
Me?
What do you feel about this new year?
I don't know. I'm feeling optimistic. I'm looking forward to it.
What was your resolution, bro?
My resolution was to eat mac and cheese. Well, pasta, lobster and pasta.
Go what?
It was mac and cheese. It was mac and cheese. It's lobster mac and cheese, but then I had lobster roster pasta.
So your brand, nothing, music, job.
The way I'm trying to look at it, I'm not gonna force anything. You feel me?
So that's the real purpose of 2023, not lobster mac and cheese.
It was lobster mac and cheese, which I already
Wait,
completed
but how? Yeah, that's what I was gonna
I
ask.
already completed that.
How
So
quick did you complete the resolution?
a weekend.
So-
The first weekend. Of
So the rest of the year I could give up.
Oh
he
shit!
said, "That's it. I did what
Yeah,
I had to do all year."
I did what I had to do. Yeah,
This year's going.
accomplish what I had to do.
Yeah, man.
But
Nah,
realistically, I want to accomplish as far as my brand, I want to release 5 items this year.
Fire
Entrepreneur.
hoodies, man.
Hoodies are
We waiting on
coming,
the
bro,
hoodies.
I know we've been.
for a minute.
He has one on.
I know.
We're waiting on it.
We waiting on that.
It should be here by February.
Not you giving dates on a pod. That's
Ooh,
crazy.
Okay.
That's a brave
They gon-
thing.
They
They
gonna
don't
hold
take
you
you at
accountable,
your word.
bro. Speaking of being held accountable, when we first did the podcast, which was at my actual home, we mentioned TGOK dropping.
A year ago.
A year
a year plus ago.
And it's actually releasing. Actually, by the time this is out, it'll already been released. But today is Wednesday. It comes out on Friday. So, yeah, man.
Track
About
6,
time.
track 6.
Track six. We have a special guest on track 6. It's gonna be
Track
great.
6.
It's gonna be amazing. It took a year to, you feel me? There's a lot of things that had to be, fixed up from last year. This year, though, because of how everything went last year, is why I feel like everything else as far as catalog and content and stuff that I've been preparing for that all of the last 3-4 months of last year. So as far as that goes, that's already planned, prepared, and ready to go. But everything else in life is I stopped looking at life as something that I can try to figure out and control. You feel me?
Which is
And it's just I just let whatever I let whatever is, I don't know. I'll jump
Question.
and then wherever I land is I'm gonna see where that
So
goes.
after engulfing yourself in one project
Mhm.
for so long, do you feel validation now that it's going to be released, or do you feel more like I'm glad this is over, or what do you feel at this moment after putting yourself in that focused space for so long?
I'm ready for 2024. That's literally where I'm at now. I say that literally because it's okay, so I worked a year on this project, right? The Garden of Kriiispy, right? 2 years really, but I locked in to perfect everything for a whole year, which is the year that you guys were involved in,
Yeah.
right? And then in that whole process, it was it was a healing process for me because this project being called the Garden of Kriiispy, it's called that because it's bringing people into my garden, my safe space, my dome, right? And I don't even do that, with close people
Cordially
sometimes.
with
Yeah,
people, yeah.
with people, some close people, that man Paul behind the camera, he knows a lot of me, but it's because I have that trust and long-term relationship with him that I can do that. But with people, it's like that's hard. So then I had to get comfortable with sharing, get like heal what I needed to, like that what I wanted to speak on.
Is that
You
the
feel
biggest
me?
lesson you learned from making this project?
Yeah, letting go. Damn, that was deep. But yeah, letting go was one of the.
But I got a question.
That was
Okay,
deep.
wait.
I'm not gonna lie.
How do you let go?
Bro, it's you have to find it yourself. It's not easy. Anyone that says that it's like a step-by-step process, there is a step-by-step process, but it all depends on the person. For me, this is how I got to let go.
What are you letting go of specifically? Just for because we're just saying let go, like in
Yeah.
general. What are you letting go of?
There are things that sometimes as people, and I say this like basically just talking about myself, where like there are things that have happened that we don't necessarily like let go of. There's things that are still like hardwired or like in the back of our heads.
I don't let go of anything.
That's your
Elaborating.
Nothing. Why is that my problem?
What do you
So,
mean? Well,
for
what do you mean
example,
by like yeah?
what I believe that you're trying to say by let go
Mhm.
is a matter of issue happens, though it lingers in your mind, you reach a point where you
Don't
come
care
to the
about it.
resolution of it, you don't care about it, it's gone, and even if it's brought back up, it will not affect you in any way, shape, or form.
More of
Define letting go.
more of finding peace in whatever it was that you were holding dear in your heart, kind of thing. You know what I mean? I'll say an example, right? There was our song,
Yeah.
right? Was one of the. Funny enough, the project is I found peace in that last week, right? In that song, where I wrote the song where it was like I rekindled something, and then that was like an amazing night. That's when I decided to speak on how I felt about said person, but this said person never knew about me. There was they never knew about me, but didn't know about how I felt because I never expressed it vocally. And that's why the song is called Demonstrate.
So, question.
So, but let me
Go ahead.
finish the thought. I in the back of my head it was always like we went like ghost on each other. In the back of my head was always like, oh, it's cool, like you feel me. But at the end, like, damn, like they never knew. They could pass away. I could find out they're dead today or tomorrow, and it's like they're never gonna know. And my whole thing is like, there's a lot of things that I would love to say, and that no one, like, I don't owe anyone any explanation. But deep down, there's something that I know, like, it's something that bothers me. That's like, you should say this because you never know. My friend passing away. There's so many things I wish I could have told him, but it's like he's gone now, so I can't. So that's what allowed me also to like last year to like, I gotta like not hold anything back because you never know when you're gonna see somebody again. So then finding peace with like my bad. To finish up the last sentence, I found peace with them. Like we're cool. Like I dropped my pride and threw it to the floor and actually reached out, and that was the greatest thing I ever did to myself because I am so like I let go
I have a
1,000%.
question about that. So you think it's better to tell somebody how you feel? Like, so say for example, a girl, is it better to tell her how you feel, or leave it up to
Depending how strongly you feel for her, telling people how you feel or where you stand, I do pride myself in doing that.
Mhm.
I don't think that you should have any regrets because the worst that can happen, there's no worst thing that can happen from telling somebody how you feel. You're just gonna move amicably after that. So if she doesn't feel the same way you feel, or you don't feel the same way she feels, all that's gonna happen after that is now we're coming to an understanding. Now I can move on, knowing how you feel, knowing how I feel. So there's no real negative to telling somebody how you feel. My question is, you were able to release that stress. You were able to let go musically, artistically. How do men or women or anybody release that without
music
art?
or something else?
Yes, because you have that
Yeah.
gateway.
Well, not to answer the question, but to answer it, I
No,
think
answer it.
everybody has different forms of stress or relief. So his outlet may be music. Somebody's outlet may be working out or doing something else. You feel me?
Yeah.
So it just depends on the person.
What I was gonna say was it depends on the person, right? What I went through was what worked for me, and now I'm at a place where it's like, yo, bro, I'm not carefree, but it's like I'm stress free, I'm doubt free, I don't have anything, and if I feel something, I'm gonna say it right away because I don't want to just hold it in and then not know where Like, I don't want to hold it in. That's the worst thing. That's the last thing that I want to do. I want to be able to just bang and then wherever it goes,
And that's why you and me, especially, we're kind of opposites because you holding it in like this, it provides another source of stress for you. My peace comes from compartmentalizing my feelings and not attacking them. but people will come and say, "Oh, that's wrong. You're gonna pop one day." I've heard "you're gonna pop one day" a million times. But to me, it's if I've already gotten the peace, I've already trained myself, become a master at compartmentalizing my feelings, saying, "Oh, this issue's here. All right, I'm gonna attack it right now, and then it's behind me. Even if I don't resolve it completely, it's behind me. It's behind me. It's behind me. I can only look ahead. If I look back, who cares? You understand? So, the question I was trying to find is letting go always needed?
Depends on the person.
I'll say yes, right? I'll say yes, because if it's one thing, and this is my my personal opinion based on me and what I know, right? Yeah. I learned this from church, where it's like you can always try to avoid your situation or whatever you're going through or something that's in the way, right? You can try to throw it to the side and you know what, nah. But it's always gonna come back. Maybe not now. Maybe not in the next like few months. Maybe not in the next year or 2 or 5. But eventually, you're gonna have to deal with that. Or if not, it becomes a generational thing, and then now your kids have to deal with whatever you threw away and was like, "No, I'm not gonna deal with that." In a more personal way, because any situation is a situation. You feel me? If you deal with people, something happened, whatever. That I can understand them like, whatever, boom, throw that to the side. That's cool. But when it comes to inner stuff, like something that that's like you have to face and deal with, throwing it to the side is just going to affect either you in the future or your kids.
So then, do you think true happiness exists on Earth?
Yes.
No.
On Earth?
On Earth.
Depends what makes you happy. What makes you happy?
No, do you think true happiness? Well, I feel like everybody seeks true happiness in their life. I don't think it exists.
My next question was, when do you know you feel fulfilled? So I think happiness and fulfillment go hand in hand.
Okay. Like it's like a validation to the journey you've went through.
Yeah. But how would you know? When do you like? In your opinion, when would you know that you are like
you made
fulfilled?
It?
Yeah. That I've made it in life.
Or yeah. That you just I'm good. I could die tomorrow, and my legacy, everything I've done, all the moves I've put in place, are valid for me. I've lived a good life. Like Paul says, I've fought a good fight. I've ran in the race.
For me, right, there's two different things there's two categories, right? There's what I work for, right? The brand, Kriiispy, you feel me? All of that I work for those around me. Those who like my mom, my dad, my niece and nephews. You feel me? What I do is because I want to, of course, I'm going to need it. You feel me?
Of course.
But, like, this is for them. You feel me? I'm going to work to, like, get my mom her house that she wants. I'm going to work to do that. But aside from, like, happiness, fulfillment would be like that. But that's, and at the end of the day, that's also
so does fulfillment come when you buy the house? Does fulfillment come when you get the Grammy?
What happens when you get all that? What happens when you get all that and you still don't feel
another
fulfilled?
Fact.
That's not a fulfillment to me. That's just an accomplishment because it's something I want to get done because I know the sacrifices that have been done for me to be in this room right now.
So what is the fulfillment?
Yeah. So then, for the mic, bro.
Talking to the mic, nigga.
So
you told me to pull it away.
I got you.
But what I was gonna say about happiness was that like happiness really you that's a mental thing, right? And this is gonna get a lot of weird stuff and comments and people are gonna take it how they're gonna take it. But I don't care about it because I know why I think the way I think. This you choose the stress you go through by how you in a way handle it or choose to go about it, right? Why I say that. Me and my dad have this conversation all the time, right? My dad has people that he knows. My dad's a pastor, so then he has pastor friends and other people that they've died of heart attacks and stuff like that. And then we have that conversation is that like they have a lot going on in their mind, right? You feel me? Like for those who don't know, like the pastoral what's that called? Like being a pastor is quite a stressful thing because there's a lot of things
super stressful.
You have to. Yeah, it's not an easy task at all. There's a lot of things you have to go through emotionally, and you're there for a lot of other people that might not be there for you, but you still got to do it because it's a service. So we talk about it all the time, where it's like this is why this is my dad speaking to me, and I take this like deeply, where it's like this is why I literally like something happens, I don't stress about it. I leave it. I just leave it in the hands of God if it's too much for me to handle or bear or figure it out. Because if I were to do that, then I'm gonna end up like these other people who, God forbid, you feel me? Like I'm over here stressing. This is, I have rent to worry about, your mom to worry about, the church to worry about, the congregation to worry about. Oh, the rent for this is the rent for the house also. You feel me? The cars, and then boom, he's stressed, overstressed, and boom, heart attack, he dies. You feel me? He does not put his thing. So, and that's what I live by too. Where it's like I don't stress about anything. Something happens, like the SD card, there's gonna be a solution for it.
To open up the conversation, do you think that the kids or our generation stresses more than previous generations?
Yeah, I think.
For what
so.
reasons?
Because I feel like, what do you think?
Social media.
That's a fact.
That's what it. Social
number
media,
one.
because everybody's living a life they're trying to portray or that they don't actually live, so they're trying to live up to that hype. So we stress ourselves. Like, I mean, how many times like we're young but we feel old or we feel like we're losing time?
That was gonna be my point. Social media is one of them, but
Yeah.
I was gonna say that we feel like we don't have time.
Yeah, like we running
Yeah.
out of time. You know how many times I felt like I ran out of time? I'm like, bro, and I was only like 21, 22.
But we also see people dying from heart attacks at 30, 40 years old now. It's not seeing somebody die from heart attacks. It was at 70, 60. And because they had heart conditions, things like that. Now we're seeing 30, 40-year-olds, even in hip-hop. We're seeing that our legends, 40, 50 years old, they're dying of health conditions. So do we really have the time that they had before?
I mean,
Is the life expectancy low?
The thing with time is like, I have this thing like whatever is gonna happen to you is gonna happen to you.
Of course.
Whenever it's your time to go, is your time to go. So time is the most important thing in life because it's something you waste but you can never get
You
back.
can't get back.
Exactly. I feel like
feel
time
me?
moves faster now than it did for them.
Yeah, definitely.
To answer your question, how I view it is like you have all the time that you give yourself. You feel me? There's a lot of things if you start to look in a bigger picture that a lot of people feel like they've like. For instance, a big fear of mine before, I'm gonna say 2 years ago or before this project was I don't want to turn out like, and this is I don't want people to take this the wrong way, because it's not too late for the people that I'm referring to, but I don't want myself to turn out like, my bad, I lost my train of thought with like focus in the room. Okay. My biggest fear was I don't want to turn out like the people who I grew up with. I was a kid who was, I was a kid who was friends with like older people. Like we were like 13 or something like that. Everybody else was like 18, 19 around there, right? Mm-hmm. And then looking at them now, they're all like reaching 30s, and some of them like, and again, going back to what I said like a minute ago, it's not too late for them. You feel me? You're only 30. You feel me? You're only 30. You're
harder.
not. It's going to be a little more difficult, but now you got to really prioritize yourself. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of people that I saw that they wasted all of their 20s, and that's time they're not going to get back. And if they really focused on something they wanted to do, that they're like, oh, I can really do this, and kind of push forward into, like, for instance, Issa doing his brand, right? He pushed him. He does that, and he knows that at one point it's going to go to where it's going to go, but he's not rushing it. But he is at the same time focused on it.
But we also have more accessibility than they had before to do whatever they had.
Yes.
For example, now you can get a job, 6 figures, damn near 7 figures without a college degree.
Mm-hmm.
Back
There's
then,
no
college
program.
degrees were needed.
Yeah. But
only the select few would do it.
So, but that was a fear for me because it was like I would see them and then yeah, we have more resources now, but I also saw what they did with their time. You know what I mean? And I'm like, you wasted.
We waste a lot. I feel like us as this generation nowadays, we waste a lot of time. I waste a lot of time.
No cap.
I'm
Yeah.
Mr. Procrastinator.
Yeah.
Question for both of you, for almost everybody in the room. What would you say is a childhood trauma that has shaped an essential part of who you are right now?
Oof.
For example, me. This nigga will always say that I have main character syndrome. Right?
You do.
I recognize that I do. I feel like I have main character syndrome. I feel like I got that syndrome due to certain experiences I had in my childhood where I might have not felt like I was getting the most attention. Maybe not from my family, maybe not from school, maybe not from anybody. And so it has turned me into the class clown. It has turned me into this main character, just as use it because I don't like saying it because I feel like it makes me feel arrogant or it makes me look like I think I'm the shit when I don't think I'm anybody. But that's just one case in my life of many cases of how childhood trauma has shaped me. Other than that, my aggression, I would say, is up there too because of certain things I went through when I was a kid. I feel like my aggression is there. But the reason I bring this up is because I love those traits about myself. I do. So, can good traits come out of bad things?
Of course.
And what childhood trauma has shaped you to be the way you are? Like, what makes Severe who Severe is? What, as a kid, scared him shitless to make Severe who he is, this brash, not giving a fuck what he says, when he says it, how he says it?
I would say the fear of, how do I say it? It's like the fear of regret. Because growing up, I didn't do shit, and I started regretting it. So then,
As a child.
So then I'm like, I kept living in, oh man, I wish I would have done that. You feel me? I would have done that. But now it's like I'd rather go for it and regret it. Like, I'm not regret it, but like
Whatever happens,
yeah,
happens.
whatever happens. At least I tried.
Interesting. I mean, I have a lot of things that is just way too like too much to unload right now to just briefly say because you have to like really explain it and kind of things. But I don't know. I'm the youngest. Are we all the youngest ones of the family?
Yeah,
No.
You have someone younger than you?
Middle.
Okay.
I'm the youngest.
So, all right. He's the oldest. That's all. But I'm the youngest. So then for me, it was like I was saved from like a lot of things that were going on in a sense. Like I went through my own traumatic things. And there were some family things that kind of like I wasn't, scarred fully by it, but it was like I learned a lesson from it. So honestly, I don't know which one to really, I don't know. I have things that have scarred me, but I've learned from those things.
Okay, so even same question but different point.
Mm-hmm.
So then how has some childhood shit or what you learned in your childhood affected how you deal with women or how you treat women?
No, not with women. I grew up with like 12 cousins, so.
No, like for example, I grew up with women,
Mm-hmm.
but what growing up with women taught me is that. Oh, I turned off my mic by accident. Hello, can you hear me? What growing up with women has taught me, of course, what they go through when maybe it's that time of the month, little things like vulnerable things like that. But having my mom be the one that put me on game has also given me cheat codes. When I was in elementary and middle school, being friends with so many girls has taught me just the mentality of how women see things. You understand?
You clicked what one that was that.
So
that's
that's what I'm trying to find is what showed you how, for example, now I am patient with women.
Mm-hmm.
I know not to say certain things because it'll leave a scar way deeper than it would leave if she told it to me.
Mm-hmm.
I know not to be impulsive. What things hurt my mom and sister when they were dealing with people growing up that I know if I were to do it, it would affect them way more than I did it.
Mm-hmm.
Than when it got done to them. You understand?
Yeah.
So what have y'all learned like that? Basically, how were y'all taught to deal with women?
So I'm a weird case. Because with the other question you asked, like the answer came to me as you were saying. I'm a weird case because I grew up. I'm the youngest. There's only two of us. It's my sister, older sister, and then I grew up with 12 other female cousins, no guy cousins. All of them are in DR. So then that's when when my cousin Henry would come, like when he came to here, it was like the greatest thing ever because I'm like, a dude, we can play basketball or something, you know what I'm saying? So like, so I grew up with like just women, but my mom raised me a little weirdly. Like she loves me and all that, but like my mom had no childhood, so raising me was like, she grew up with older women kind of thing. So as a kid, her childhood was just robbed. So then now I understand that there's things I can't come to my mom about because she won't entirely understand because she doesn't know. She didn't have the childhood to understand it. But that's one thing that I have.
Learning your parents is human is an
crazy.
experience.
No cap.
It's crazy.
Like
Learning your parents are people that were just like you 20 years ago is fucking crazy.
Yeah.
That they're not superheroes. That they're not these invincible characters in your life that can fix everything. That moment in my life fucked me up.
That makes it switch though, for real.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
it was like so with that came mommy issues. I have mom issues, right? And that's why I'm into older women and whatever, right? So
I get into that. Nah.
Anyway.
No, we're not laughing.
Anyway.
We're not laughing at him.
No.
We're laughing at things be happening behind the camera. And what older women have you been with, Kriiispy?
More about that. So then, no, I told my dad, and my dad was actually surprised because I've been in a journey of like kind of like communicating more with my parents, which is the hardest thing I've ever had to do in my life because I've never done it. So then, but I sat down. We went to Chick-fil-A, and me and my dad were talking, and I told him, look, no, I
Chick-fil-A is not a sponsor of this program.
Anyway, so then we went, and we were talking, and I was letting him know, like I was as hard as it like when I was working on the project, that's one of the things that it allowed me to do, to express myself, which is especially to my parents, because so, like after a time in life, I think I was 18 or 19. I was like, no, I was 18. I was like, yeah, no, I can't, or 17 around there. I think it was 2017, where I was like, yeah, I'm closing myself off to my parents. I don't know what they ask me for. Like I won't lie to them. They ask me whatever, I'll tell them. But it's like if I'm going through something, they're not gonna know about it. I'm gonna deal with it myself, kind of thing. Which was not the best idea to do. Like I went through like a lot of stuff that I could have had my parents help me out in those times. So, but to like what I was talking to my dad with about was that I was like, yeah, no, like I understand, like mom had no like childhood, so there's things I can't come to her for, and it's tough. I love her still. You feel me? She's a little rough sometimes to like handle, but my dad was the one that taught me patience with women because he has a lot of patience with my mom.
You know what's crazy?
So then,
you know what's crazy is we're always taught that parents know us like the back of their hand.
They don't.
Parents don't know who their kids are
At all.
Yeah.
Parents, my mom, right? This is a quick example. The other day I was talking to my uncles, right? And when I was in like middle school, we used to have like run 30-second fights in the bathroom. So there was a time where we used to fight, we used to just fist fight 30 seconds. I used to get in a lot of fights, used to deal with teachers, everything. I wouldn't tell my mom when I get home not to stress my mom out because there's nothing she could do in her situation. What is she going to do? Come to school to fight with me? Like, there's nothing my mom can do. So I was talking to my uncle, and she's like, what are you talking about? You never fought. I was like, Ma, you don't know anything I have ever told you in your life. You don't know when I was stressing. You don't know when I was down. You don't know how I dealt with those situations. Your mom only knows the image you put out. So it's like your parents
That's
only
like
know
everybody.
the same amount that your friends know, just in different forms.
Nah, see, that's what like one of the things that I try to I'm gonna say this real quick so then you can like tap into the
Yeah, you should
combo.
tap in.
That's crazy. But one of the things that I had to make a realization
X, I'm
of,
gonna fuck you up.
one of the things I had to make a realization of was I have to bring my peoples in, because it's like one of the things that they say, well, my parents or my mom says this a lot, is like, oh, like, trust me, I know, like, no one knows you, like, not knows you more than like your friends. She always said no one has your back more than we got your back. You feel me?
That's different
That's
though.
true.
So then, but it's like there's a when I was 17, I drew a line. So it's like you have my back, but you don't really know what I'm going through. So it's like you have my back to what you can see that I need help with. Like if you see that I'm falling, you'll help me up, but you don't know. You know what I mean?
See, I think about it like that, but at the same time, I gotta go against that, because when they say I got your back, it's no matter what happens to you, even though I don't know what's going on with you. For example, just an example. Let's say I had a crack addiction and I never told my parents. If they found out I was a crack addict, my parents will be there for me. They have my back through everything. They're never gonna let me go. So that's what I would think when my parents say I got your back.
Yeah.
That's what I wouldn't think that it's conditional.
But the point, to just leave it there, from what I was trying to say was that like I can't like
That was spicy as fuck. I'm not gonna lie.
No, I didn't mean
that was spice.
I didn't mean it any other way. I'm just trying to like end what I was
No, I got you.
to make the clear for them is that I and I'm still in this process. I'm like letting them in. I'm letting them know, like, you feel me? Even bro, my love life is out of their like sight. So anybody that except for like a when was it?
Yo, every time he's about to say something personal, he shuts down.
I really do.
He be like, yo, that girl.
But no, except for like the upstate came down.
Nah, me.
You know what I'm saying? But like I'm letting them in little by little, letting them know like what's going on. with me, so they're not surprised if whatever, if I break down or whatever, so they can understand me a little bit better, like why I do what I do.
How's your relationship with your mom that way? Like, when did she realize that? Does she know that you're who you are on Twitter, making pussy fishes and shit?
Nah.
So she.
I mean,
like
the thing is, like,
like, does she know?
It's because I met her last week.
Yeah,
So I was like,
does she know that you be saying you would clap Harriet Tubman's cheeks? Like, does she notice?
She's listened to one of my songs. She just gave me a dirty look, but she's not gonna stop me.
So then, what
She
does your
listened to
mom know about
Bagels,
you?
actually.
She listen. You let your mom listen to Bagels.
I played it in the car like 3 times.
3 times?
Like twice. Once.
Yo,
once. I got a reaction video.
A minute 20 seconds.
you have a reaction video? Can I see
Of
that?
her, yeah.
So then, to what extent does your mom know you? And what has growing up with your mom and your dad's participation in whatever way it was? Dude, that sounded crazy. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that sounded crazy.
Yeah.
I should let me shut up. Let me shut up.
Go ahead. So, like, how has your parents' participation in your life affected you and who you are today? Like, you told me how being in school you regretted a lot when you were a kid. How has your mom's upbringing, your dad's upbringing, taught you who you are? How have they made him this?
Me? I gotta think about this question though, for real.
Like, what makes Issa? I mean, severe. What makes severe?
What makes me me?
What makes you tick? For example.
What makes you talking about? What makes me me or what makes me mad?
No. Like, what makes you? Like, what makes your clock tick? Like, what makes you?
Me?
What is it? This is
Me?
You ever see Rush Hour?
Yeah. You, me?
Not you, me. Who
All right.
are you? I am me.
Honestly,
Nah, for example, like, what makes me is my anger, my motivation, my obsessiveness with one topic when it gets into my head.
I say the way my mind works. Obviously.
That's
But
real general, nigga.
super general.
The way I
It's
breathe.
It's just I'm hard-headed to a sense that when I have something in my head, I don't let anybody stop me. Not even if I ask you for advice, I still go with whatever's in my head.
You be asking for advice when you know the choice?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
That's
That's nuts.
That's
I
just
hate
like-
niggas like you.
Yeah, don't ask me.
Yo, don't ever.
Just
Yo. Should I get?
Nah, play.
Nah. All right, yo, get off the show.
I don't know, like
Niggas like this.
as
nigga, bro.
like for me is
We'll come back to it.
it's a hard. It's not that it's a hard question, but like I'm not gonna say. I guess my dad's stubbornness, because my dad is mad stubborn when it comes to something, like he puts his head to it.
Of course. Pause.
I have. I'm like that in the sense that whatever I set my mind to, like no matter what it is or how hard it is or whoever tells me you can't do it, you can't do it. I'm gonna do it regardless.
How hard it is.
Pause.
Come on, son.
I'm gonna do it regardless, no matter what you tell me.
True.
You feel me?
What makes Kriiispy?
What makes me, bro, is my genuineness, I guess, cause I don't know how to explain it, but that's just me. Like, you feel me? Like I don't. Did that sound in any way like bad?
You're okay. So your genuineness, as in
Like anything that I do is gonna.
you're
be
built
out of
on
my heart.
principles.
See,
Yeah. It's
The
gonna
way
come out of
you
heart.
phrase that question, like at least to me, it was like, how did your parents make you?
It's how everything made you. For example,
But
in my case, just so that you could get a better vantage point of what I think the answer would be from you guys. What I think makes me is all my experiences from when I was a childhood.
of course, that's everybody.
Those arguments with teachers per se, or what's going on?
I turned it off. Go ahead.
Okay, so the times where I faced death when I was a kid, you know, the times where at school I might have not been accepted, where at home I might have had family problems, financial problems have made me who I am today. Not being confident in myself has made me who I am today.
Same.
Different things like that. Dealing with things the way I dealt with them. For example, when I was a kid, even being a kid, I knew not to tell people what I was going through, not to vent to people. Though I could have, and my mom and my sisters have always, and my cousins have always been there and said, yo, open up to me, I'm here. For some reason, it's always clicked that you're in this world alone. You came alone, you're going to die alone. You are you. Salvation is individual. Nothing is going to fix you but you. So coming off of that, it's made me who I am today. So it's made me I can love and I can be loved, but I don't give a fuck if I'm loved. It's made me you can be here today and I'll love you while you're here, but if you're gone tomorrow, I won't give a fuck. That's what makes me tick. My ability to grasp everything and just let it go or grab onto it. It's all just been that.
See, I feel like I'm the same way. Cause it's like I'm very, if you're in my life, cool. If you don't, fuck you. You feel me?
I hate Jake, bro.
Like, I don't know.
I hate Jake.
I had the same thought in my mind. He said what I was thinking. I was like, nice.
Like, I'm not the most communicative person. That's because, like, growing up, I wasn't the one, like, they would just listen to more what my sister said, and I'll just be chilling. You feel me?
So you felt you were pushed like to the background, so
Yeah,
it's like
it was
my voice
more-
isn't heard anyway.
Yeah, exactly. So I
Yeah.
just didn't give a fuck about saying anything.
Got you.
And
See, now we're getting into the answer.
See,
That's the answer.
Now I'm at a point where I say whatever the fuck I want because it's like, it's me. Like, I don't
That's
care.
what makes you you.
Yeah.
Two things and to touch into that, and we're also running out of time, you said, right? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I, being the youngest and only girls, bro, nigga, not yet. Like, no one will, like, really listen to me for real. Like, I was an annoying little kid. I know for a fact I was. I was a very annoying little kid, which being annoying as I was what made me shut down and kind of like just kind of try to reserve myself as much as you guys see me like now. Well, obviously when I'm like yesterday in the stew is like you see how that's crackhead energy. I'm tired and I'm just like, you feel me, goofy and stuff like that. But like being that annoying little kid, but I was never alone, right? In a sense of like, I was under the shadow of my sister. I learned from my sister's mistakes all the time. Like, everything she did is why I moved the way I did.
That's a fact. I've learned from family mistakes.
Like, my sister did a lot of things and would get caught for a lot of those things, and I was like, copy, don't do that. Understood. And then that's how I moved. Now, when you, like, one of y'all said, where it's like that you're alone and no one's there for you. My sister had moved out when I was, like, 15. And my sister was, like, my best friend. Well, yeah, it was just us two.
Yeah.
So like when I had a problem, when I had a situation, I talked to her, and that was the only person I had. When she didn't move out, she got kicked out. When she got kicked out, I was left. No, I mean that's what happened.
I know I feel you, but damn.
And I was just left like with nobody. Eventually, I just felt like kind of down. That's when like Jacob came into my life. You feel me? I met Q. You feel me? Our boy Ant. We crazy.
He's him.
But. So yeah, she left and then left me like, damn, like I don't know like who to go to. So then I made these friendships that to me are lifetime friendships. These are my guys for life. You feel me? And then after that, that's when like in school I needed somebody else who was older than me that knew like something, because it's like that was my sister. She's not there. So then who I had, and that's when my cousin came into my life. Well, she was always there, but that's when me and her got closer. The Garden of Kriiispy and me doing the process that I did to be where I'm at now, healing and all that stuff, came from her. The whole name came from her. Her handle is the Garden of Ella. Y'all can look it up if y'all want to. But that's why I chose that route. And in that route is where I chose to be more understanding of how she was teaching me to be back. Well, not really. But the point is that, like, she was there in a point when I needed her. Like that, yeah, I had them. But it's like she helped me in a way that they couldn't. You feel me? I can open up a little more because she knew me growing up to her than the way that they couldn't. And then like that, it's there was always somebody like on my side kind of thing, kind of like guiding me.
Also, when you the youngest nigga in a group of older people, like I was 11 chilling with like people who was 18.
You're respected. Your opinion is not respected at all.
Not that, but you also gotta act. You also gotta like chill.
That's a fact.
Not act like a kid or whatever.
That's a fact.
That's why most of the time I'm like mad chill, because I grew up with people. I
mean,
grew up being 10, niggas being 18.
Me, it was different because like I said, I felt mentally alone. But in my family, because of my father passing away so young, my mom had to give me extra love, and my mom showed me extra love. I was the first grandson. I was the first nephew. So my uncles, my aunt, they all treated me like their son. But they were never able to fill that father hole. Never. My stepdad, I love him. That's my pops. He was able to provide. But they never filled that hole that I felt my whole life. So it's almost like I grew and said, I'm going to fill that hole with fuck it. Just whatever fills that hole, let's just fill it, and that's good. Which is why I felt alone, because it... Yo, Jake!
Yo. Continue, nigga.
Jake.
It was a big pause moment. But anyway.
I be filling holes, though.
All right.
Okay, it's not a pause. All right. Anyways, so it's just, it's not, that's why famous people kill themselves, I feel, because they could have 40 million followers, but if you feel alone in your moment,
Yeah.
and you don't know how to fill that hole of loneliness, you're gonna lose yourself. I didn't lose myself for two reasons. Obviously, my belief, because I always think that I have a purpose. To get to heaven is my purpose. To get salvation is my purpose. That's what I believe in. But other than that, me thinking of myself in that main character syndrome. OGM season 2.
Cameras got cut off, but we're gonna end it up here. This was like a 40-minute. Honestly, we had other things and other plans for like how we were
so much other things we were gonna
go into. You can screenshot all of those other things and we'll save it for another time. But this was
killed
cool.
JFK?
This was cool. What?
Who killed JFK?
The government.
Season 1, Season 2, Episode 1. Yeah. Grrr. Bow.
Yeah, man. This has been a long time in preparation. You feel me? We wanted to like hold off, but me being the believer of like, let's not wait too long. Let's just do it, and how it comes out, it comes out. We're here.
Quarter of the day. Si tú no me quieres, me quiere la otra.
Nah. Listen, man, follow us on social media. It's all going to be down in the description below. We have a lot of plans for this year. 2023 is going to be a whole lot different. We have SSG's out. Go listen to that. We got a whole bunch of music on the way. The Garden of Kriiispy is already out by the time you guys have seen this. It is one of my favorite bodies of work. Just go listen to that and enjoy it. Enjoy SSG's. Enjoy everything that we have for you coming soon, man.
And we're open to receiving smooch DMs.
That was by him.
No.
Anywho,
we're all single men.
Thank you for watching OGM Podcast Season 2, Episode 1. See you on the next one.
Bow.